Back in the day, you don't cry. You ain't soft. You ain't no sissy. You don't cry. You don't tell nobody your problems. You internalize them. You man up. The word of hope is sooner or later, you're going to have to surrender. You're going to have to surrender. Because you may not see it now. You may not know it now. But life is so much better if you just surrender. Why you fight the fight that's already fixed? Surrender. I didn't really know what that meant when I see people on television come out. You know, the old Western, they came with their hands up. They're surrendering. They say, you got me. You got me. I'm not fighting no more. You got me. Don't shoot. You got me. And that's how I went to God. And see, I had a moment. That's why nobody can tell me nothing about the gospel of Christ Jesus. Nobody can't tell me nothing about who he isn't, because I had a moment right in a room in Cincinnati, Ohio, a condo by myself. When I finally got on my knees that night and I surrendered, I said, Lord, if you here, take me, I'm yours. And the lights that came into that room, the sound and the wind, the whistling, and it came through that room, and it's like papers was flying, and the light was so bright and radiant that I was just crying out, Lord, take me. And it was so the most beautiful thing I've ever saw. And when I tell you he came. God has always spoken to me. And I always knew it was him. I just wasn't ready at that particular time to accept the charges.
You still have ties with that thing, and you're not able to grow because you still have ties. So it doesn't matter how much you study. It doesn't matter how many certificates you get. It doesn't matter how many degrees. You cannot go forward until you cut the ties of the past, and you're not able to cut the ties of the past, so God's not able to give you the promises of your future. I want to stop. No more word. I want you to think. What's that thing you keep thinking about? I want to stop right now. What's that thing you did that you keep thinking about, or you did to somebody that you keep thinking about and you hadn't gotten freedom from it? What's that thing? I want you to stop right now and look at that thing and let that thing go. Because it's a weight now. You can't go nowhere without it. And they keep showing up in places you don't want it to show up. And they keep showing up in moments that you don't want it to show up. And so it's right now. We're not going to get to the end of the sermon. We're going to do it right now. Whatever that thing is, I just want you to close your eyes and I just want you to give it to God right now. I'm going to move forward. I just want somebody to get the victory. This is the point where we stop and you reflect. What is this thing you keep thinking about? What's the thing you keep thinking about personally that you did wrong, that you keep thinking about it? And because it's in the past, now you in the past. This is 2023, but you still stuck in May 17, 2002, 2020. You still stuck. Yeah, you did do it, and it was wrong, but it ain't happening today. You know who you are. You know what it is. Just tell God, God, I did it. I did. But why am I still tormenting myself about it 5 years later, 10 years later? It's over. I did do it. If I had it to do all over again, I wouldn't do it the same way, Father. Come on, talk to God. Get it out. Let today be the day where it's finally over. Because it's tormenting you. Just raise your hand if you know what I'm talking about. It's coming up in places it shouldn't come. It's stopping you from being what you want to be and doing what you want to do. Hands down. Come on. Just keep talking to Daddy. Ask, seek, knock. Paul says, I press toward the mark for the prize. You can't get your prize as long as you're in your past. Come on, free yourself. And you're about to be able to do some stuff that you couldn't do before, not because you couldn't do it, or mentally, emotionally couldn't do it. You couldn't do it because of the past.
It's hard handling just the tragedies of life. It's hard. When you're working on something and you put everything you have in it, and it doesn't work out, you lose your money and other people's money. It's hard. It was rough when I lost my job. And I could not find the job. It was humiliating and embarrassing, borrowing money. And then I couldn't pay the money back when I told them I would. That's rough. How people look at you. how they respond to you. It's very hard. It's humiliating. Here's what I discovered that happens to you in life, that you will go through things, and while you're going through them, you can't understand why it's happening to you. But after you go through it, you get back and you look at it and you say, oh, now I understand why I needed that lesson. Have you ever happened to you? Raise your hand. Has it ever happened to you that I couldn't understand it then, but after I got through it, then I saw that was preparing me for bigger and better things. As you go through the challenges of life and you look at it and embrace whatever comes to you, don't run from it. Step toward it. Don't try and duck it like most people do. See, most people want it easy. See, easy come, easy what? Easy go. See, but when you go at what you're going to deal with and you deal with the difficulties of it, when you handle those hard things close at hand, making those hard decisions right now,